Hi everyone, I'm just going to do a little video today on the baler. I mentioned in the last video that we had a bit of trouble with it. It was, I'll just sort of explain again what it was doing. So it would make a bale on automatic mode, and I'll sort of show you control box. So yeah, so the baler would work on automatic mode, and when you're baling in automatic mode, this light will be on, and when it's coming up to make a bale, this light flashes, and so it makes the bale comes up and it starts to flash on there to say the bale's nearly made. And when it is made, the buzzer goes, and within a few seconds it starts automatically putting the net on. And then once the net is finished, the knife trips and you hear it bang, the knife cuts in, bang, and cuts the net clean. So it was doing all that, and the net would stop, because I have had people say to me that it's probably just the net is not cutting properly, and then it just keeps pulling the net in. Well, it definitely wasn't doing that, because the wheel on the front of the baler was stopping as soon as the knife cut the net. And I've looked at the net, the end of the net, and that was all clean and cleanly cut. So so once it had finished netting, you let the bale out of the chamber, and when the door was opening and nearly open, the buzzer would go off again and it would start feeding netting. So then you would have to get out, cut the net off, because if you carried on baling with the net feeding in, once the bale got bigger in the chamber, it would start putting the net into the middle of the bale. So it would do this sort of every 8 to 10 bales, and spoke to a couple of people, and they sort of had various opinions and and things to try. So I spoke to a Massey dealer and the salesman who has helped us out on numerous occasions with various things, and he'd sort of worked on Welger balers years ago, before, like when he was an apprentice, so quite a long time ago, and he sort of didn't know what the problem was. However, he said, obviously there's a man that we can talk to from Agco who worked for Lely long before he worked for Agco on balers. So I spoke to him, and he said it's definitely the circuit board on the baler, because he said it's sort of a bit of a problem that they get sometimes, that the circuit board fails. It will still work okay most of the time, but every now and again it will have this problem. So I bought a new circuit board, and I did find out, and you could have it repaired, but it's something that I might do. So we've got a spare, because it's not going to cost very much to have it repaired, I don't think. So that's something that I can possibly get done in the winter. You've got to send the control box off with the circuit board, and then they'll fix it for you, hopefully. And but we thought, just order the new circuit board, if the chap from Lely said it's definitely the problem. So so hopefully that will solve our problem. We were able to use it in manual, so every time it beeped, I would have to stop and press that button, and then it would net and put the net on, and then it would still beep when you opened the tailgate occasionally, but obviously it didn't put the net on, because you had to put the net on automatic or manually by pressing that button, so it couldn't net unless you press that button. So that did solve the problem, but I sort of wanted it to be working properly so you could use it in automatic mode again. So that's why we bought the part. Another issue that a chap that I've sort of bought some parts from in the past, he suggested that we should have a look at the latches on the door, because it could be the sensor there. And so I did get looking at it and found that there was a bit of a problem with the latches on the door, and I will show you now what that problem is. So that problem is these little blocks here, and they are not very good. As you can see there, look. And what those blocks do is basically, as the latch gets pulled, after, as you can see I've taken it off, but as the latch gets pulled out, it compresses this and stops that getting pulled out too easily, so it makes a tighter bail. So that's what they do. So I think that one's knackered. But so he thought that might be our problem, but he might be right. But I'm sort of, after talking to this man from Lely, he was sure that it wasn't that, and it was actually the circuit board. So I'll show you the parts. So here are the new parts we've got. So basically a block that will fit in there somehow. Hopefully it'll fit. Looks too big, but we'll see. I assume that'll push forward enough to get it in there. I'll take it apart and see. But yeah, so I'll take that apart in a minute, and then we can get those in. These are £68 plus VAT each. So the one on this side, the Baler, feels all right. It can't actually see in there, but it doesn't look, or it doesn't, I've got to take it apart, but it doesn't feel as bad. So, but I'm going to change them both anyway. So anyway, right, I'll start taking it apart, and I'll show you the progress as we go along. So I got that first one put in, and it sort of just moves, so it's done up tight there, and there's a washer on the back, and yeah, it's looking all right. I wasn't sure it was going to fit, but there's the old one. I think it was a bit knackered. So I thought for a while that it wasn't making good enough bales. That sort of explains why, because there wasn't enough difference when you increase the tension on the baler. So we'll have to see now what it does, and hopefully it'll make more consistent bales. And yeah, like I say, we'll see when we get it up and running. Right, time to get it back on the baler. Right, I have got that side done and all back together. Spring tensioned up to hold the door latch down. So I'm just in the process now of doing the other side, and I have knocked out the roll pin holding the ram on, because what happens is, anyone that's got a Welger Baler will know, but what happens is as the tailgate opens, the ram pushes down, and then it pushes down like that onto that plate and lifts the latch up. So yeah, so all I've got to do now is remove that. There's a circlip on there, and then that whole latch will slide off. So it's fairly straightforward. Yeah, it's quite a simple system on this baler, because there is the pressure. On the more sophisticated ones like the RP220s and the likes of those, they have a pressure sensor on each hook, whereas this baler's only got a pressure sensor on this side. There's nothing on the other side at all. So it's much more simple, and you can't alter. You have to get out and alter the pressure there on that little slider. So as I say, it's in theory it's quite simple, but right. So I've got this second door latch off, and There's a hexagon head stud holding it all in place. I bought a nice little set of hexagon head sockets the other day. They're Halfords, and they're sort of advanced tools, so they've got a lifetime guarantee on them. And I've got quite a few Halfords tools, and they seem pretty good. Right, so that's an 8, and we've got a little socket that goes on there, and then I can put that in there. Tight always to get on, and see if we can undo it. There we are. Does make it easy having this little gun for doing stuff like that, and it's amazing what it'll undo, I always think. So slide out the little sleeve, and out comes our bush. This one's in a lot better condition, look. It's a little washer. Yeah, that one there isn't too bad, but we'll compare it a minute to the new one, and you sort of see it has compressed a little bit, look. So yeah, so I don't think it's wise to replace both and a new set. Right, so I'll clean all this up a minute, and then we'll get it back together. Right, so I won't put it back in with the impact wrench. Turn it around so I got it off the edge here. And I bought a new ratchet a while ago, and that didn't last very long for some reason. It was a Draper one as well. Yeah, something I would like is a flexi head 1/2-inch drive ratchet. George Saunders had one, and he reckons it's a good thing to have, so I think that's what I'll get. Right, that's all back together, done that up tight, and move you off there. You see that's all in there, look, done up, and sort of turns around still, so that's good. Right, and we'll go and get it put back together. Right, I've got the latch here. I'm just going to slide it back on, and it's fairly straightforward, and that's it, that's all it is. And then just washers to go back on here. I'll clean that up a bit. Right, that's gone in properly, so that's all done, and just got to connect the ram back on now, put the spring back on down to there, and then that's it all done. I bought this torch at Lama last year, and it's a good torch on its own, and then but it's ideal for stuff like this. It's a bit dark in here, and that bends around, and also clamps on with a magnet as well. Yeah, another thing about the torch is all the Milwaukee M12 batteries that I've got fit it as well, so that's good. It's quite nice with these bigger batteries because it'll sort of stand up on things like that anyway. And then the magnet, hold it there, so, and yeah, it cost about £25 I think without a battery, so, but it does give a lot of light in the dark, and when we were lambing I was using it as a torch then, so yeah, it's pretty good. Right, all done here. That latch is back on, springs done up and tension back up to where it was, so hopefully it'll be all good now. I don't know if you can see that block in there. Right, so that's done. Just got the circuit board to do now. Right, last little job is to change over this circuit board. I've taken out the 4 screws holding it on, so just got to take all those plugs out, plug it in, got to get the screws out of here, and let's have a look at the new one. There it is. Right, so I'll put it back in there for a minute while I take the other one apart. Simple as that. 500 quid later. All done, so just got to try it out now and hope it works. So right, hope you enjoyed that video. Just something a bit different, and a problem that we spent quite a lot of money on to hopefully fix. So hopefully it'll make better bales now as well and solve that netting problem. So fingers crossed. Right, thanks for watching, and I'll be back with another video soon.